Question 73. The ovary and the uterine tube. The ovary is a reproductive organ and an endocrine gland. It is applied on the lateral pelvic wall, placed in the ovarian fossa, in front of the ureter, and is attached to the posterior surface of the broad ligament of uterus. So this is the broad ligament of uterus, the green. It has a lateral and medial surface. The lateral surface is oriented to the lateral pelvic wall. The medial surface is partly covered with the uterine tube and is in contact with ileum and appendix on the right side, and the left ovary is in contact with sigmoid colon. The ovary has two borders, a free border and a mesovarian border. This is attached to the broad ligament by the mesovarium, this light green. The mesovarium contains vessels, nerves and embryonic remains. The ovary has two extremities, a tubal extremity, which is covered with the fimbria of uterine tube, and a uterine extremity, which is oriented inferiorly towards the uterus. It is attached to the uterus by the ligament of the ovary, ovarian ligament. The structure of the ovary: you have the surface of ovaries covered by germinal epithelium. Then beneath that you have tunica albuginea. And then you have the cortex, which contains the ovarian follicles, and corpora lutea and corpora albicans embedded into connective tissue. And then you have medulla, which is a vascular connective tissue. The blood supply of the ovary is the ovarian artery in yellow. This is the ovarian artery arising from the abdominal aorta. And the nerve supply is by the ovarian plexus, which is here. Now for the uterine tube. The function of the uterine tube is to transmit an ovum from the ovary to the uterus, and the fertilization also occurs in the tube. It is located in the free border of the broad ligament of uterus. This is the broad ligament in green. You have uterine opening and you have abdominal opening. The right tube is related to ileum and appendix, same as ovary, and the left tube is related to the sigmoid colon as the ovary. Uterine tube is divided into the infundibulum, which has fimbriae, and one of the longest of them is called ovarian fimbria, which is firmly attached to the ovary. Next we have ampulla, which forms more than half of the entire length of tube. Then we have the isthmus, which forms about 1/3 of the tube. And then we have the uterine part, which is the narrowest, and it's the part that traverses the uterine wall. The wall of the uterine tube is composed of a mucus coat, a muscular coat, and a serous coat. The serous coat is peritoneum, and the mucus coat is folded into numerous folds. The blood supply is by tubal branches of ovarian and uterine artery, branches of uterine artery and branches of ovarian artery. Nerve supply is by the pelvic autonomic plexus.